Hey, thanks so much for joining us tonight. My special guest tonight is Vanessa Williams. Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Anne, how are you?
I'm awesome. I've really been looking forward to tonight.
Me too.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about what April holds in store, April 2019, what it holds in store for Master 11s and for anyone who's drawn to the number 11. If your life path's an 11, your expression number's an 11, you're seeing 11s. If you're just drawn to this video, this message is going to be for you. So I love the fact that Vanessa has agreed to do these readings for us every month, and because she just delivers a message like nobody else. So I'm excited to hear what you have to tell us this month.
Oh, well, it's a big month. It's a very big month. As you know, we are officially in Aries season. So this is the start of the astrological calendar. So fertile, new beginnings, this is it. We're definitely feeling it. So for all the 11s and people attracted to the 11 number, 11, and as you know, is the double one, right? So it already has that Aries energy of new beginnings and pioneering and initiating. Yeah. And that's what we need to be doing this month, no matter what.
Yeah, it's a big month. You know, I was kind of giving some thought to this before we started, and I was thinking about, you know, the 3 universal year, 2019, 2 + 0 + 1 + 9 = 12, which equals 1 + 2 = 3. So we're in a 3 universal year, which is all about self-expression. But it's a very emotional time too, eh? It's a lot of people are feeling a lot of emotions, and we were just talking about this earlier. After the full moon, it was like, whoa, what was that all about? And then of course we went through the Mercury retrograde from hell. Yeah, but this energy is causing us all to feel like we've really got to put it down on paper. We've got to really express ourselves, start journaling, you know, and really put it out there.
Right. Especially with dream interpretation. So right now for the month of April, our dreams are going to be so prophetic and like really intense and deeper meanings across the board. Essentially what we're doing is we're accelerating to the other dimension, the higher plane, and we're doing it through our dream work. So it's really important to be kind of learning what our dreams are teaching us.
And last month, I can't even imagine. Last month was crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. That super full moon, it just exposed everything that was going on in our beneath our surface that was out of alignment. Yeah. So what I usually do is I wake up, I write my dream down, or I'll like text it to my husband or something, and then I just Google it. And then you kind of Google it, and then you use your own intuition to try and connect the pieces together. And usually it's what you needed to hear, you know? Like, yeah. Okay, so this reading is for April 2019. And the 2 cards that already popped out are the Hermit card. Hermit, so all about alone time. So although it is that 11 energy and Aries season where it's all about independence, this independence is going to cause some feelings of isolation, right? It's kind of like the dark side of being a leader. What's that? There's that video I watched where it was showing how to be a leader, and it's not the first person. It was a group of people at a concert. One guy gets up, starts dancing, and everybody just kind of sits there and is watching him like, that guy's crazy. Second stranger goes up, starts dancing. Then the third, then the fourth, and then the whole park was dancing. It's not the leader, the first person to start it, but it's that support system that comes in. Yeah. So that's where you kind of get the 11 energies. So you want to be that leader plus the support of yourself to start the frenzy, essentially. Unfortunately, we have another card here. It's the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. So that's a young earth sign. It would be Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. This is that other support person. So you might be the one feeling alone, starting a trend by yourself, but then this young earth sign comes in and gives you the support that you need, not that you want, the support that you need, because the earth sign, very practical, very grounded, incredibly dependable, incredibly reliable, but it's kind of really 4 energy. You know what I mean? And like the 4,
a little staid. You know, like the 11 tends to be up here, right? Where the 4 tends to be 4 posts in the ground, and the 11 doesn't always appreciate that.
Exactly, but we need it. We need that grounding energy right now.
Yeah,
so,
but you might fight it because it's a bit staid.
Right. So this earth sign's coming in and fighting our independence and us wanting to take that initiative to start something new.
Right.
We need to try and find the pros in the earth sign and say, okay, well, they have a point about this or that, instead of just saying, you're against me, get out. You know?
Yeah. So are you saying that this month is in Aries because the Aries starts March 21st?
Exactly.
Okay.
Until April 22nd. So that's where we're in Aries season.
Okay.
And then we have like the Aries new moon, which is all about planting the seeds of new beginnings. Right. Another card just popped out, 9 of Cups, which is emotional abundance. So we are feeling lonely, we're feeling isolated, but emotionally we're really recharging. We're really kind of refueling our cups right now, and we need to do that in solitude. It can't be something that we, you know, search for through somebody else.
Aries don't always do solitude very well.
Really? But you guys are so independent.
Okay. It's that quiet time.
Okay, so we ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, so this April 2019, for everybody who is influenced by the number 11, we have a lottery win. This is the card that says everything is changing, everything is shifting. And essentially, the way I understand it, why I call it a lottery win is because when you think about, like, I'll ask somebody, like, what would you love to do? I would love to do this if I had the money. I would do this if I had the money. This card is telling you that you have all those resources. You have everything that you would possibly need. You just need to look for it. You just need to find it. And if you find that it is just, oh, I can't afford it, right there is the blocker that's stopping the flow of abundance. So just saying, I already have shifting energy from that crazy super full moon, Mercury going direct, you know, Aries season. We have the energy of new beginnings and changes. So we have that obligation to not block ourselves from it. So whatever you wanted to start, you have the resources, just bring them into your life.
Isn't it interesting too, because we're coming into the spring, obviously. Was the 21st of March the first day of spring, I think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 20th of March was the first day of spring. So a card like the Wheel of Fortune is an awesome card to have, given the cycles that we're at. Because I think we have to get in touch with the rhythm of the seasons too, right?
Right.
I've been trying a bit to get things started, but I've recognized, and Stephanie's always after me saying, you know, you got to slow it down because nothing's going to happen until the spring, right?
Right.
She's absolutely right, because I feel that the cycle of the seasons coming in is propelling all of us. We've kind of gone through a bit of a dark time, don't you feel?
The hibernation mode.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I just feel like we're all going to get lifted up.
Right. I guess we do have a benefit living in a country that has the season changes. Because I know some of my California clients, they don't have that change, so it's hard for them to actually like go with the rhythm of the natural cycles.
Right.
But yeah, spring is now the time to start seeing what you planted during the winter months start to come to fruition. Right. So it's really eye-opening and also really humbling, because over the winter we can be so depressed and we're manifesting these negative thoughts and experiences. And then spring comes and we have to take responsibility for what's grown based on what we've planted.
Exactly. Absolutely. That's right. And excuse me, it's interesting. I think the Wheel of Fortune is a 10, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. That's new beginnings, right? The 1 is all about new beginnings. The 0 is all about intuitively recognizing your time to move forward.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because
I definitely feel it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the obstacle and the aid to this shift is the family's security. Okay, so obviously that's all we're really thinking about right now. We want to make this shift. We want to make some changes, some new beginnings, but we're wondering how it's going to impact the family. Because like mentioned, although as 11 energy, people who are attracted to the 11 energy, they recognize the need for independence, but also partnership. It's like, what's the point of gaining success if you don't have it to share with someone, right?
Right.
So the family is definitely a main concern. My advice for that is to get the family on board, you know, get them excited about something new and changing. No matter the age, ask, hey, you know, what do you think I should do? What do you think we should do as a family, you know? Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Because family is going to be the most important reason for making this change, but it's also going to be the reason why we feel like we can't make a change or start something new.
I don't know what's coming down the pipes here is, it might sound totally ridiculous, but I'm thinking family gardens. You know, coming into the spring right now and trying to do something as a family, there's nothing more fun than to teach your child how to grow something.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Especially the younger sign, young Taurus, yeah.
That's it. That's the year.
Oh. See, that's a good teachable moment as well to say, look what we're doing with our hands. We have to plant it. You know, we need good soil, we need water, and then it grows in sunlight. And that's like, a plant is like a human, right?
Right, and it can nourish us, and we can share it with our neighbors, and it's just
exactly, exactly. So subconsciously, we have another 10 energies. So this is our third 10 on the board so far. Subconsciously is emotionally happy family. So at the end of the day, this is where we're working from. As much as we're saying that it's an obstacle and an aid for our family's financial security and them feeling empowered within themselves, emotionally, the family is so content that we can do anything. Right. So the family actually has a strength right now. I think over the super full moon, what it did was it recalibrated all of the relationships within the family unit.
So this can pertain to not just your personal family, but also your work family, right?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. All relationships are hit.
Right.
Right. And a lot of the times I find with the readings that I do is people will think that it's work and it's actually family. Right. People think that it's family, but it's actually work. Yeah. So if you feel like we don't live in a vacuum, so if there is an area of your life that's diminished, look at it, look outside of it. Right. What's your partnership like? What's your relationship with your mom like? You know, a lot of times I was just reading this psychic saying that your finances are directly related to your relationship with your mom. And for me, like, I was just like,
amen to that.
I was like, I couldn't believe it. She was like, her name's Sarah Yip, and somebody asked her, how do I become rich? And she's like, you want to be rich? Fix your relationship with your mom. And the woman's like, well, have you met my mother? And she's like, all right, like, stay broke.
You know what? I totally get that. I totally understand that, because my mother, you and I've talked about this before, where she was Jamaican and white Jamaican. So it was never safe for her to talk about the fact that she ever had any money, because then that would put her at risk.
Right.
Right. So my whole life, I grew up believing we had nothing, you know. And it was just, you know, don't spend anything. I mean, it's the fear mongering and anyway, there was just this taboo about money kind of thing. So it wasn't safe to have money is basically the message I got.
Exactly.
I struggled for a long time, right? But yeah, that's a profound statement. I appreciate it.
We need to break it. We need to break it. I was the same way. My mom always said, Vanessa, money burns a hole in your pocket. And at 5, I'm like, okay. You know, and I just continue to spend, you know. Mama says, so. So really kind of, I think this month would be really good to kind of go back to our childhood and remember those relationships especially with our mothers. And that'll clear this fear of changing, because a lot of the times we have moms that never changed, you know, and mom said, I can't change because of the kids. So we internalized that and said, okay, we need consistency across the board. We can never make improvements or change our lives. We have to stay where we're at. Mm-hmm. And it's just not the case in the world that we live in now, right? No. It's so fast paced now. Yeah. We have access to information readily where we can constantly evolve. Everything's a catalyst for change these days.
Yeah. So we're just going to get with the program.
Yeah, exactly. So subconsciously, the family is so content and so happy that all that's left is for that financial security. And it's right there, because if the family's already feeling content emotionally, the security and all other aspects will come in naturally. It'll instantly flow in as soon as we just let it come in, right?
Yeah.
So we are thinking that we need to give more emotionally to our family and friends. So this is a six card. We know all about the 6, right?
Yes.
You know, the 6 really kind of forces us to feel like we have to love our family more than we love ourselves.
It's all about responsibility.
Right, right.
Responsibility, yeah. And feeling that need to always be there to rescue everybody. But it's always at
Mhm.
the risk of enabling people, right?
Exactly. And I think that's what we've been doing a lot recently. We've been emotionally enabling our family members
Yeah.
because we're so intuitive. It doesn't give our family a chance to express their truth. We just say, "Oh, you're upset. Let me fix that." As an 11, right? We feel that
Right.
urge to cure people
Yeah.
when maybe family is like, "Listen, like I kind of like this dark night of the soul, you know? I kind of want to go through my crap without you interfering."
It can also be too that the 11s have a tendency, I mean, they don't like any kind of conflict. So they're very quick to jump in to resolve conflict because and it's really not so much about helping this guy get through his conflict. It's like, I don't want to go through this, so I'm going to fix it.
Oh yeah, well that makes sense.
Yeah.
And with that super full moon in Libra, that's exactly what it'd be calling us to do, is kind of find the disharmony so that
Yes.
we can harmonize it. But
Yes.
finding the disharmony was part of the challenge, right? Because it's almost like we needed to kind of create a small drama in
Yeah.
order for the dust to get ruffled so
Yeah.
it can be exposed.
Right.
And we kind of did that ourselves as a way to grow over that super full moon, which was on March 20th. I know I keep talking about it. It was on March 20th. I'm sure everybody felt it.
Yeah. 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 Oh yeah. No question. It was.
Yeah, there was no denying that. Okay, so this shift that's going on, Anne, is based on what we've manifested. So the 3, this is the influence of the shift.
Okay.
The 3 of Wands, and Wands is all about the energy put out, kind of like the work that we've done. And then 3,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what you were just talking about with the universal 3 energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so creating that and
Sorry, I was just, go ahead. I'm just writing things down as they come to me, and I'll bring it all up later.
yeah, so we really kind of blindly were creating over our hermit mode. We were not being very responsible when it came to what we were putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's coming in, it's, you know, it's a little bit of a conflict because we don't know what we truly want. We've manifested it emotionally, but now that we're thinking about it logically, it's like, well, is this the change that I need in my life?
Right. So you bring up a good point because this is actually a 7 universal month, right? Which is driving everybody inward.
Right.
And, you know, the universe is saying, okay, we're in a 3 universal year, which is all about self-expression. But what I'm going to recommend is that everybody takes pen to paper and start journaling. Because you're right, people don't know what they want. And one of the fastest ways to figure out what it is you do want is to write it down.
Yes.
Just start writing, right? Just start journaling. Just start writing. I'm surprised at how much comes from that.
Yeah, that's so true.
And it's going to be a difficult month to come from here to here.
Right.
To make heartfelt decisions. There will be a little bit of confusion. It's going to cause you, like the Hermit card you're talking about, it's going to cause you to feel like you need to kind of spend a little bit more quiet time on your own trying to figure stuff out.
Right, and being okay with it.
It's a very spiritual time. It's a really good time to figure out what you want. I always say take a piece of paper and divide it in half. And on the left side of the paper, write down all the stuff you don't like that's going on in your world right now. And as you write it down, pause for a second and say, well, if that's not what you want, what do you want?
You know, see, that's exactly where I'm at. Where I'm like, I know I don't want this. And it's like, but what do I want? You know?
Yeah.
It's like putting a kid in a candy store and being like, pick whatever you want. That kid is going to have like a meltdown.
But I always say, it's like the angels are up there going, okay, so Vanessa, what would you like? And Vanessa's going, well,
I don't want this.
Okay, so, all right, so what would you like? Well, I don't want that either. Right. So it's like telling, you know, the waitress is trying to take your order to say, well, what do you want on your burger? Well, I don't want pickles, and I don't want mustard, and I don't want, well, what do you want? You know, we're too busy focused on what we don't want.
Right.
And we don't convey what it is we do want. So how can we manifest it if we're too focused on what we don't want?
And that's how you end up with spit in your burger. You know? Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Decide what you want.
We're still not going to a restaurant. No.
But yeah, that does bring me back to this card, which is where we're at right now. So this is the Empress card. Okay. It's a 3 once again. So 3 and 10s. That's all we really need to know this month is 3 and 10. New beginnings that we've created, that we've expressed we wanted in some way to the universe. So we're
And we started with 2 significant 9s too, though, right?
Oh, yes.
It's all about emotionalism.
Yes.
Right?
And also humanitarianism, because I think we're doing a lot of comparing and contrasting with that super full moon in Libra as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, because Aries season, like Aries is the god of war, so there's no war without an opposing side. So we kind of really need that opposition in order to understand what our fight actually is. So
yeah, interesting. There were two or three when I was in Mexico last week. There were 2 or 3 different medallions that were available, and I kept getting drawn to them. And one of them was on the Mayan calendar, and I know nothing about the Mayan calendar, but they had something about the warrior, like it was the warrior calendar or something like. And I thought, well, I'm an Aries, right? And I have the medallion.
that's so cool.
Yeah. So watch me roar when I wear my medallion.
Wow, so that is like totally Aries energy, eh? Like it's not only that it's the warrior where you need to fight, but that recognition. Yes. It's like if you won the war, but nobody was, you didn't actually, make any difference.
Yeah.
I think Aries season, you need the receipts in order to kind of confirm the war, the fight, the challenge, the conflict, and then the success of that.
Yeah, exactly. And none of that can happen unless somebody makes the first step forward.
Right. And that's where we're at right now. Just very fertile with new energy, very fertile with something to nurture as well. And it's very feminine also, which is awkward because Aries is more of a masculine energy. So we're torn between the masculine universal energy and then kind of like our own feminine intuition it's a little bit of a tug and war, like more of an internal conflict, I think, that's going on.
So the guys might struggle a little bit more this month than the gals do.
Right. And even the girls are going to struggle with more masculine energy, like maybe even like, it's more masculine to kind of work as opposed to being at home, so the push and pull between the work-life balance could definitely be prominent this month as well. And just not knowing what we're fighting for. Why am I fighting at work just to come home to fight at home? Like where's the balance?
Yeah.
So the next card is our family and friends. So how our family and friends are doing with this shift that's going on in our lives. And our family and friends recognize that we've kind of changed our mind and our frame of mind and opinion about a lot of things in life, especially integrity and our will. Like we've kind of really shifted in the way we feel like we need to do things in order to gain respect and admiration, and family is seeing that, and it's changing the way they're viewing us as well. So another one. That's an 8.
That is a 1, isn't it?
Yeah. Interesting enough, the hope and fear, my favorite card, is the 5 of Wands.
Change.
So that's change, and also the 5 of Wands, as you can see, is conflict.
Yeah.
A lot of conflict going on there. We hope for it, but we fear it. You as an Aries, I'm a Libra, so I don't have any hope for conflict, but as an Aries, why would somebody want conflict? Why would somebody hope for that?
Well, I'm trying to think as an 11, the 11s have a tendency to kind of hold things in. They don't necessarily express themselves as easily because they're the peacekeepers, right? They're the ones that always want to make everything just nice. They don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers. So given this kind of an energy coming forward, it could be a bit of a welcome relief to them.
Right.
This could actually be supportive to them. I mean, it is conflict, but it could stir up a discussion. Again, we're in a 3 universal year, which is all about discussion, communication, and that sort of thing. So it might kind of stir up conversation. Maybe there's a relationship that's kind of sitting here and simmering a little bit and is just ready to go, and it needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed, or it's just like the big elephant in the room that no one's talking about. Maybe, am I wrong? Maybe this would be an energy that could really help to support that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's important going forward for the month, depending on when everybody is watching this. If there is a conflict that you can sense is brewing, to kind of look at it as a catalyst for change and say, okay, what can I learn from this? What am I supposed to be learning from this? I was actually just reading about karmic relationships, and it was saying, so you know how like you'll get into a fight with someone and you're like, holy crap, I can't believe I said that or did that, and it's so out of character.
Yeah.
Apparently that's based on a karmic past programming. So it's based on a past life karmic bond, and you're actually acting in character, but character from a past life.
Right.
So that's how you know you're in a karmic relationship, and that's how you know you're growing. So if you find that this month, this conflict is bringing out a side of you that you're, you know, if you're more like mellow and you're getting really angry easily, getting really agitated, that's actually a karmic lesson to say something in my past lifetime is triggering that out of character response, and I need to grow from that. Because apparently that's what a lot of people struggle with, is we haven't let go of past life issues, and we just, you know what I mean? We just kind of move on.
Well, that 9 of Cups that came forward, isn't that related to that?
Oh yes, the veil,
releasing and letting go, and just
right.
So
yeah, I think I told you this. I remember I was talking to somebody who had a past life reading, and they found out that they were starved in a past life. They were completely starved. And now in this lifetime, they can't gain weight. They'll eat, and they can never gain weight. And it's because they're subconsciously, they still feel very thin and skinny. So it's like manifested into this lifetime. Yeah.
The other way, I would, you know, people with obesity issues, quite often it's because they were starved.
You're starved. Unreal, eh?
Yeah. It's crazy.
So maybe if it's a 7-month, maybe this is a year to do some root work and do like a past life hypnosis or something, and just kind of tap into that.
It's interesting because, you know, when you're on an airplane, you get nothing to do but watch the free movies, right? And I said at the beginning of the year, this being a 3 universal year, that I thought we were going to see some really interesting art form in the way of movies, and that the Academy Awards are going to be amazing, and there's going to be some really, you know, monstrous type movies coming in. And what I'm discovering is that it's not going to be necessarily new things created this year, but it's going to be related to us recognizing and internalizing creative efforts that have already been made. So for me, like Bohemian Rhapsody, for example, came out, I believe, in December. Okay. And like, if you haven't seen it, guys, like, stop the recording right now. Go and watch Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm telling you, Bohemian Rhapsody, even if you're not a Queen fan, the most profound thing, and I'm sorry if I digress a little bit here, but the most profound thing in that movie was when Freddie Mercury took his band to be interviewed by a record producer. And the record producer said, what is it that you think is so special about Queen, that you think that you're so different, that you're going to be the next best rock band? And I started to cry when I heard it, because I thought about all my 11s. And he said, Freddie Mercury said, it's because we don't fit in. We're misfits. We don't fit in here. And you know what else? He said, everybody out there that we play to, they don't know where they fit either. And we play for them. Right? I had to stop the movie and replay that and replay that and replay that. It just hit me so hard. And I thought, why is this hitting me so hard? Why am I bawling through this? Why is this? Because it was just such it was so timely for me personally, right? And so here we are entering into this 7 vibration of the universal month in a 3 universal year, okay? Where all of us are going to feel drawn to the sensitive nature and the more spiritual nature and the underlying currents in all these films. And some of them could have been put out 10 years ago, but you're going to watch them and see them differently this year. Wow. It's going to give you an opportunity to get in touch with your emotional selves. And it's going to give you the opportunity to kick crap to the curb that just doesn't mean anything anymore. Or watching Freddie Mercury's story, it might just kick you in the ass and say, I'm inspired, right?
Right.
I'm going to do this thing. And The Star is Born, same thing, right? Watch that. Hello. you know,
it's funny you bring that one up, because my cry moment is A Star Is Born is when she had the opportunity to walk on stage, and it was just in that 1 second that she just swallowed her fear, and that's when I just started bawling.
Me too.
That's
Me
total
too.
11
moments in that movie. One of them was that moment when she went on stage and she covers her eyes like that, and she's looking out like, holy shit, I'm actually doing this, right? Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I so relate to that. I so relate to that. And 11s, it's just like, that's what I want for you guys. I want that moment for every one of you, you know?
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Anyway.
Yes. And one way I've been doing that, Anne, the one way that I find that I've been supporting myself is by only supporting people that I like, only buying products that I understand the value. Yes. I understand where they're coming from. I don't even shop at Walmart anymore. I'm like, I don't want you to have my money. Like, so even if I'm spending $60 on shipping, I'm gonna buy that doll from South Africa.
No offense to our American friends, but Walmart is an American company, and we're Vanessa and I are both Canadians, so we're trying to support Canadian, as we would expect you would support Walmart, because you're
right. And just putting your money where your mouth is. You know, if you support that person, show that support through actually, you know, going to the movie theater and supporting Bohemian Rhapsody, you know what I mean? Like things like that, just watch online.
Well, it was just, there's so much depth to that, you know, all these little nuances and all these little things that came forward, and to me it just hit me so hard. Like it was just hit me so hard, and it wouldn't have hit me the same way last year.
Right. Totally true.
And I've since discovered that, yeah, Lady Gaga's my spirit animal.
I find my spirit animal.
I know. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's okay. I totally agree, because lately movies have been doing the same thing for me, where you kind of look back on the movies that influenced your life. I was even doing the root work for Disney movies. I'm like, why is it, you know, I was looking at my favorite Disney princess, Cinderella, when I was growing up. And I was like, I always felt like I needed to marry that Prince Charming, and then I'd be a princess. I kind of put my values on marriage, saying I'm nothing, I'm rags, until I find a husband. And it wasn't until I started looking at all the Disney movies where I'm like, wait, there's a reoccurring theme here. And after that, I was like, I don't think I want my daughter watching Disney movies. Like, well, not the old ones, right? Like now, you know, like Snow White, where it's, you know, she just takes care of 7 lazy men. But like now the newer Disney is a lot more empowered. So yeah, like maybe even like looking at, maybe that's something that we can all do, is kind of look at your favorite movie. What do you think that tells about your personality, about your character, about, you know, your influences or how you live life? You know, there's definitely a correlation there.
Oh, there is. There absolutely is. And like I said, I predicted at the first of this year that we would see the arts a little differently, and that it would be a little deeper, because the 3 is not just about self-expression. It's not just about creativity and being social. It's also a lot of self-doubt. It's a lot of self-criticism, getting in touch with that inner critic. It's all about the emotional side of life coming to the forefront. And it's you talking about your emotions. It's you actually being able to find your voice. It's a really powerful year. Depending where you are in your own personal cycle, it can be even bigger, right? But I think this particular month, that being a 7 universal month, like try to position yourself in a place that you can watch some spiritual stuff. You know, go and watch The Shift. I mean, by Wayne Dyer. Hello, if you haven't seen that, like, you have to watch that. Have you not seen that?
No, but I love Wayne Dyer, so I'll be Googling that.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Watch. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's full. Just look for the full version of The Shift.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, it's excellent. And it's things like that. You know, anything of a spiritual nature, I think will really speak to people, and it will start to generate. This month is really going to start to generate conversation. Right? So we want stuff to stimulate us.
Yes. Speaking of stimulation, so the outcome for our month is interesting, because it is more focused on another person. It's focused on an earth sign that's more feminine than we are. So not necessarily female, but more feminine than what we are at whatever you are. This is an earth sign, so it's Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, but it's not the same earth sign that we said we wanted support from. This younger earth sign that we needed that support from is totally different from this older earth sign, because the younger earth sign has embodied the positive traits of the earth energy, and the older earth sign has really brought in a lot of the negative traits, just because of how long they've been on this earth and they've seen some stuff, you know, and it's really skewed them. Because like I said, the earth sign is so down to earth and grounded, as opposed to the 11s where we have that beacon, right? Like we float around, and then the earth sign brings us down to earth. But the younger earth sign is a lot more practical when it comes to what we're channeling, as opposed to the older earth sign that's just seen so much tangible stuff that it's hard for them to say, hey, yeah, that's a really lofty out there idea, but I think it can work. It's just because they've had so much experience that they can't visualize it. Okay. So as opposed to this younger one. So what's going to happen, Anne, is we're going to keep thinking, even though we've had this shift and we know that things have changed and we know that we have all these resources at our fingertips that we just really have to welcome it in, we're still going to be thinking that we need to give to our family like it's our duty. Unfortunately, we're going to just, you know, we've filled our cup essentially with that super full moon. We filled our cup, and now we're just pouring it right back out into our family instead of holding it in for ourselves. And what that does, it just creates a lot of emotional confusion, and then leads to that emotional confusion with the female earth sign. So we know that we need to be, you know, holding on to emotional energy ourselves, but because we give out so much, we're losing kind of a piece of ourselves a little bit. And then this earth sign comes in and just kind of.
Maybe if you can break down I know the earth signs Capricorn,
Taurus, and Virgo.
Right. So can we give us months for that? So I'm just thinking about people who might be going, yeah, my boss was born on March or.
So I'll do better. Instead of, because it can be the sun, the moon, or the rising. So instead of me telling you the sign, I'm going to explain the characteristics. Okay. Okay. So the earth sign, like I said, very grounded, dependable, reliable. They rule money and tangible items. So if it's Taurus energy, there's someone who's, you'll know a Taurus because it's always, they've either just bought something, about to buy something, or giving you something, or taking something from you. Tauruses are all about what they can tangibly touch, right? And they're all about collections and possessions. Virgo is very service oriented. A Virgo is incredibly critical because they have such an analytical and logical mind. So this is somebody who kind of wakes up very early because they have a lot of duties and chores. And even if you look at their lives, you're like, well, you don't need to wake up that early just for that. And it's like, hey, they rule organization and daily routine, and that's very important to them. And they have abundance. The earth signs have abundance, but it's hard for them to tap into it. Okay. But they naturally do have it. So same with the Capricorn, very driven, very motivated, very determined. Cold, you're going to find a lot of emotional coldness with these earth signs just because they don't know how to emote as easily as a water sign or express their emotions as easy as an air sign. Capricorn energy, very motivated to success. No matter what, the reason why these people are going to be such a hassle this month is because we want to start something new, and they're all about the plan. They're not about the start. They're all about, well, hold on. Well, do you have this prepared? Do you have enough money? Do you have this? Do you have that? And you're going to go to them and say, hey, listen, lady, I've got everything I need. I have every resource. But because they can't see it and they don't understand the 11 energy, which is like the universe will provide. They're like, wait, what? So we can either waste our time and waste our amazing energy that we have right now trying to convince this earth sign that we're worthy and that we can take this next step and that our family will be secure and everybody will be happy. We can either, you know, do that, or we can just decide to not even listen. You know, we do have a choice. We can either give all of our power to the earth sign and say she's right, you know, that we don't have the money to do this or whatever, or we can say we're 11s, we're abundant, we flow energy, we have magic wands coming out of our heads. We can create anything, right? But it's gonna take some opposition just because of that threat, right? So
that's gonna help to motivate them to move forward.
Yes. See, that's
you know, you got to show gratitude for the obstacle, because when you show gratitude for the obstacle can't exist.
Oh, and
right?
Yes.
I was sitting on the beach in Mexico going, oh, all right. So honestly, it just one negates the other, right? When you show when you show gratitude for the obstacle, when you show gratitude for the challenge, when you show gratitude for the earth sign who's trying to squash your dreams and say, look, I really appreciate, I appreciate you and I appreciate the fact that you're trying to ground me and all these things. The obstacle can't exist because it can't be an obstacle if you appreciate it.
Exactly.
Right?
And the number one thing to appreciate with that obstacle is because of Aries season, we need the conflict. We need to be able to fight against something. If we don't have a fight, you know what I mean? Then we're not going to have that same passion. It's almost like we need that fire behind us to say, yeah, I might be doing this to prove you wrong, but at least I'm doing it.
Yeah.
At least I'm doing it.
That's right. Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons I even started my own business. It was at first just to kind of prove to others that I could, because people are so quick to be like, no, you have a university degree, you gotta stay in that corporate world. And I'm like,
no, you don't.
I'll show you.
I can't even tell you how many years I did that. It wasn't until I actually started to walk in alignment with my path and with my purpose and my passion did my world work out for me. And it was just like the universe is going, no, we're not going to pay you to do what you're not supposed to be doing. Like, seriously, when you look at it from that perspective.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I got paid less. I get paid less now than I did in my corporate job, but I have more abundance now than I did in my corporate job because I'm noticing that things are coming in other ways where I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's all too good.
But yeah, so essentially the summary for April 2019 for everybody attracted to the 11 energy is that we've won the freaking lottery. We've won the lottery. We have a huge opportunity to just be totally fertile, to just start something new. It's almost like the universe is pressuring us to start something new. We need to do it in order to elevate the vibration of the planet because 11s, that double one energy. But it's a test. If we're going to keep saying, no, my family needs my emotional energy over here. This earth sign, she said I couldn't do it, so I should probably listen. If we're going to just continue to deviate our power to other people, this is going to just continue the pattern of unhappiness.
Yeah.
So we have an opportunity now to say, yeah, this is everything I don't want, but I now know what I do want, and it doesn't matter if I feel like my family isn't, because it's not true. Your family will be totally fine, especially if you're walking your path, right? Your family, it'll actually raise their vibration so that they can match you, and then they'll be happier in the long run. Although they are very happy right now. They're doing great. So now is really the opportunity. I know sometimes people will say, well, because the family is doing so great, maybe I shouldn't stir it up. But I think it's the complete opposite. If the family is doing great, this is now the time to initiate something new that is important to you and only you, so you can share that light with the world, right?
It's time.
Yes. So, I think we should do a call for action. I think that the 11 people who are attracted to the number 11 should comment what they want to begin. And we will just all be in agreement with it. And we will all just put positive energy toward it so that they will feel empowered. Because intention is everything, right?
Exactly. And it sure would be nice if they would like and share the videos, because
that works too.
I mean, I don't even understand how all that works, but I just know that by sharing stuff so that more people can see it, the more people will benefit. If you don't share it, who's sitting in a closet being miserable somewhere without this information?
Right.
That can be so uplifting. So yeah,
that's so true. That's so true. And that's going to be a catalyst as well, because for me, I know that I hesitate to share like more metaphysical and spiritual things. Even though I know it's going to help my family, I still have a little bit of doubt because I'm like, are they going to accept me for sending this link? But I'm getting to a point now where I'm like, if they want to watch it, great. If they don't, whatever. But at least it's off my shoulders, and I've done what I can to at least empower them the way that I know how. Right?
We know 11s are spiritual messengers, you being one of them, right? So that's what you're meant to do, even though sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge to do it.
Total challenge.
Absolutely. But good on you for doing it. Thanks for sharing all this. Oh, wait.
Of course. This is going to be a really, really good month. A really good month. It's a needed month.
Yeah. Oh, I feel it. I feel it. I just kind of, we went away twice last month, which was kind of indulgent, but we did it. And I remember feeling kind of guilty about taking the time off and whatnot. And I thought, you know what? I just kind of feel like April is going to be giddy up and go time. And
Right.
I'm going to be very, very busy creating new courses and new material and content and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of, I think everybody's been sort of feeling like we're sort of simmering over here for a little bit. And remember, we're all in the shadow season of 2018, which was an 11 universal year, right? So we really don't kick into gear in terms of our new personal years until about the 1st of April. January, February, and March, we still have a tail end. We still have a mix, if you will. It's a shift. We don't really come into a true solid energy of our personal year and the universal year until about the 1st of April. So we can all expect a really serious shift in April. Yeah. Yeah. It's likewise, when you're coming into the fall of any given year for our Australian friends and such, we're talking September, October. When we start coming into September, October, whatever your personal year has been, you start losing that vibration. And the vibration of the new energy, in this case 2019, starts to kind of come over the threshold, starts getting your feet wet, and you start feeling that shift, and you start getting ready for the new energy. So there's about 6 months of a blend going on. Last year being 2018, so you got a little bit of that going on with your personal year. If you were in a personal year of 7, for example, you're doing 7-8, right? When you're in September, October, November, December, around that time. So it's interesting. So really, you're gonna get a very pure form of whatever your personal year is. You're really gonna start to feel it the 1st of April.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's good. That's really good.
And I think a lot of confusion that we've all been feeling, it's going to sort itself out, whatever this year means to you. And I mean, you can go to my website and check out the epicycle explanation. It's in the blog or resources, but you can check it out. It's on there, and it explains each year, personal year, how to figure out which year you're in if you don't know, and it'll really help you to understand what's affecting you this year. So I know myself, I'm in a 4 personal year, but I haven't been overly focused for January, February, and March, but I'm feeling it, right? Because I'm coming into it. So, yeah. What personal year are you in this year?
I'm in a 6, and I've been so responsible, but I'm in a 5 house, and I think the house, because I stay at home, right? Yeah. I think the energy of my home has really been affecting me, so I have been thinking about changing the energy, like just putting a 1 sticker on the inside of my door so I can have like that double 6 energy. You think that'd be too grounding, too responsible, and too
we'll talk
critical? Yeah. But that's one of the things I'm thinking of.
Like free, but anyway.
Yeah, I think I need to mess around with the energy of the house.
Yeah.
And that'll kind of, and like start wearing more like numbers, like maybe writing the number like 8 on my arm or something. Yeah, maybe I should turn it to a 1 for Aries, right?
Well, listen, if anybody is kind of, where do we go from here? Like, this has been great information. What do you want to do next? You can check out Vanessa's website at beyondyoursunsign.com. She's got an online calendar there. You can check it out. You can book your reading right there. And she gives an amazing reading, because I know, because I've had one. And likewise, if you're interested in contacting me, it's AnnPerryNumerologist.com. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. I just love these readings that we're doing each month.
Me too.
Yeah. And if anybody's got any comments to share, we really appreciate it. Anybody's got any questions or whatever, post them down below, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. So love you guys. Wherever you're coming from, we really appreciate you tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in May for our next reading, our Astro-Numerology reading, and finding out what that's all going to be about for us. All right.
Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you, guys.
You guys have a great night, and we'll be talking to you soon. Take care.
Bye.